Hi guys, so today I am bringing you my bookshelf tour part 1, which is going to be the bookshelf behind me, which is my special collections. Next week is going to be my bigger bookshelf, which is over there, which houses the majority of my books. I've decided to split them up into 2 parts, so hopefully they don't take too long. So grab a cup of tea and get ready to watch the bookshelf tour. I'm going to try and do it with my tripod so it's a little bit more stable, but I might have to switch to handheld depending on how it goes. So yeah, keep watching guys. Okay, so starting with my top shelf, which houses some of my bigger books and some other little things. To the right is my closet, which is weirdly short and stumpy, and then my other bookcase. So I just got these, and unfortunately they don't fit in my tea drawer, which is on the shelf, which you guys will see. But I have from David's Tea Cotton Candy, Caramel Corn, and Root Beer Float, which are all part of their new collection. So then I have my David's Tea 24 Days of Tea Advent Calendar. I haven't finished this, so it's still sitting in there. It still has some tea, as you guys can see. I need to work through it. I'm doing this handheld just because my tripod doesn't reach this high. So sorry if it's a bit shaky. Next up are some books that are really, really big, and therefore don't fit on my shelves. So I have Understanding Exposure by Brian Peterson. This is a good photography book for if you're just starting out. Next up is Royal Palaces, which was a really cheap travel book, but it's got some really pictures of royal palaces inside. I'm just gonna move these down. Next up is The Lonely Planets Europe book. I just knocked something over, which has every single country in Europe. Another travel book. Masterpieces of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which my mom brought back for me. I have been to the Met, but I didn't get a guidebook when I went, and she brought this back for me. Whew, my arm's already getting sore. Mostly because these books are really heavy. Oh, and this is really dusty. I've had this for forever. Harry Potter Page to Screen, which is this really big book about Harry Potter. It weighs a ton. And last is Cathedrals of the World, which I'm just going to show you like this because I'm too lazy. It was really cheap at Chapters, and it has a bunch of pictures of cathedrals. Shelf, and my camera is now on its tripod, so it will go a lot smoother, is my Tolkien, and yeah, basically my Tolkien shelf. So starting from this side, I have my Minas Tirith bookend, which opens up and has the Tree of Gondor inside. It's really cute. I kind of accidentally bought this one day on eBay, and it's from Weta, and it's from the Return of the King collectible DVD collection. I was with my friend Della, and I was bidding on it on eBay when we were driving, and I kind of just, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I just won Minas Tirith. So I accidentally bought it. Next up is my extended edition Lord of the Rings Blu-ray DVDs, which I'm sure everybody has seen, but yeah. Next up I have a special edition of The Children of Huron, which is dusty, but it comes in the slipcover, so it looks really nice. I haven't actually read The Children of Huron yet. I have read The Silmarillion, but I haven't gotten around to this one yet. Ooh, I really need to dust this. I don't touch this shelf a lot, so it's very dusty. Next up by Corey Olsen, I have Exploring J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. He is the Tolkien professor. The bookmark I have inside is actually one from the Hobbit movie that I was given for Christmas one year. I was starting reading that, but it's the same as his podcast, so I kind of stopped. Next up is by David Day, The A to Z of Tolkien, which is just like a dictionary of Tolkien stuff. Next up is A Reader's Companion to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. This has a variety of essays and stuff. It's got stuff by C.S. Lewis. I don't know if you guys can see that. And a bunch of other things. Ursula K. Le Guin. Next up is essentially the same thing, and it is the QPB Companion to The Lord of the Rings. It has a lot of the same essays. It was really cheap. I got it used for $4. So then, moving on to the second part of the shelf, I've got a couple of book depository bookmarks. I have my Key of Durin which my friend Della got me for my birthday last year. I'm just gonna move that over there. I have the Silmarillion in this hardback edition, which I really like. It's got illustrations on the inside, if I can find it. One of them. Yeah, it's got illustrations. I picked this up because I didn't have a hardback copy of the Silmarillion. Next, I have the Unfinished Tales in this paperback edition. You can tell I left my receipt in there because I was reading it. These are my box sets of, oh, and I've got a piece of dried periwinkle from when I was doing photos. My box set, and I'm just going to move my camera so you can see it a bit better, of the trilogy and The Hobbit. I just got this year. I do have another box set on its way. I have pre-ordered it for October, but it's really, I love this. This is so pretty. They're cloth bound. I think you can only, I've only really found them at Book Depository. And I will take them out so you can see the pictures. I've got The Hobbit, Fall, The Fellowship. They're really nice. I love these editions. The Two Towers. And The Return of the King. And the spines of these books make up the Tree of Gondor. I think The Return of the King is my favorite cover. It's the prettiest for me. Sorry, I'm scratching my voice from talking so much. I do, if you guys can notice, own 4 copies of The Hobbit. Yeah, I will explain as I go on. This came with the box set. So then I also have the Complete Tolkien Companion by J.E.A. Tyler, sorry. This was a impulse buy off of Book Outlet because it was really, really cheap. And then I have the Atlas of Middle-earth, which I got from BMV for really cheap. And it's got all kinds of maps and stuff. I'm gonna move this up. You guys can see the Hobbit stuff. So I have this leather-bound edition of The Hobbit. It's a little bit worn, but I bought this because I really loved it. It is beautiful. And that's like, the pages are marbled and it's just really nice. It's just plain endings. I bought that. It wasn't even that expensive. It was like 50 bucks, but I really, really wanted it. This edition of The Hobbit is the edition I grew up with. You can tell it's got earmarks, and I was a kid when I was reading it, but it's beautifully illustrated. So that is my childhood edition. And then I also have that same edition in the hardback. It's illustrated by Michael Haig. I got this when I was in New York City at a Neil Gaiman signing, and I just happened to find the hardback edition of my childhood edition, so I just picked that up. So that is my Tolkien shelf, and we're gonna go down to the next shelf. So this shelf, guys, is my Harry Potter shelf. I own all of the Harry Potter books in these special editions. In front here are the coins from Harry Potter. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see them. I got these at the Wizarding World of, not the Wizarding World, the Harry Potter exhibition when I was in Tokyo last year. It just happened to be there at the same time. I was sorted, obviously, into Ravenclaw. I also have the Ravenclaw crown, which a friend gave me for Christmas last year, which I quite like, and it sits on top of mine. So, I have the Tales of Beetle Bard, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. These editions are really expensive. I have these, and I have the regular ones that I have sitting in my basement. I also have the Kindle editions. But yeah, these I saved up for and bought slowly over time because they are very expensive. But I thought it was worth it because I love Harry Potter enough. Then I have the Chamber of Secrets. These have gilded pages, which are really nice. And then Prisoner of Azkaban. Now I can slide these back in. I have the Deathly Hallows. Sorry, these are going in the back order just because that's the way that they are stacked. And the Half-Blood Prince. The Goblet of Fire. And, needed a space. The Order of the Phoenix. So I really like these editions. They were expensive, and by expensive I mean upwards of like $70 or $80. But I saved, and it literally took me forever to buy them. But I did eventually. It just took a while. I realized I've misshelved them, but whatever. Next up is my signed books shelf. Okay, so this is my signed bookshelves. I have this fan that a friend gave me when I was in Japan. And then I have this little pouch that is an Emma pouch from Kate Spade. I have my copy of Anansi Boys, which I got signed when I was in New York. I met Neil Gaiman. This is very hard to do. Where is it? I know you're signed. Where did he sign it? Yes, there we go. Alicia, this one's for you is underlined, and then Neil Gaiman. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, this is the same bookstore that I got my copy of The Hobbit. That's hardback. It's the same as my childhood edition. So I also got my copy of Stardust signed, which he drew a star on, which is really exciting. These just happen to be the ones I had nice physical copies. I also have Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale. She did a book signing actually really recently. Just to like, there's a development going in and they're protesting it and she's supporting it. I also have my copy of The Peloponnesiad signed. So I'm getting so eager looking for the signing. Not very original Margaret Atwood. I could have written in a personal message, but I couldn't think of anything. Next up is my copy of The Fault in the Stars, which is signed. I won this in a book depository giveaway. Unfortunately, my copy's a little bit bent out of shape, just because customs opened the box, so I was really irritated about that. So on to the next shelf. Okay, so this shelf is my travel shelf. I have 36 hours in 125 weekends in Europe by the New York Times. I'm leaning around the camera. I have a bunch of eyewitness travel books. I have London, Paris, Turkey. These are all places I've been, by the way, and I use these guides. Greece, Italy in general, Florence and Tuscany, which I spent a month in Florence studying a couple summers ago. To those of you who don't know me in real life. Rome, Tokyo, which I spent a month in last summer teaching English. Germany, Europe in general. And then I have a bunch of these wallpaper books, which I will just pull out and show you. If I can get them out. I don't actually like using these, but they just look really pretty. So I have Tokyo, Paris, London, Rome, and New York, which I don't have the eyewitness, but I have spent time in New York, obviously, because that's where I met Neil Gaiman. So on to the next portion of this. So this is a little bit of a miscellaneous shelf, I should say. I have a K-Cup in pumpkin spice, which I am saving because I love it. I have a Japanese phrase book and dictionary that I used a lot last year that I haven't had the heart to get rid of yet. A map of Tokyo. Londoners, which I got on sale, obviously, by Craig Taylor, which is apparently a bunch of stories about London. It was really cheap. And I like reading about travel literature. I have The Lonely Planet's Guide to Travel Photography. Stand. The Ultimate Field Guide to Travel Photography by the National Geographic. I'll lean those that way. I have my Diana F Plus manual and the Diana F Plus Curve Prestige, which is the edition of Diana F Plus that I have. Photo book. It's got just a bunch of Diana F Plus photos on the inside. Behind here, this is one of the cases for my lenses. I have my Canon EOS Rebel T1i 50D digital field guide. And another Tokyo handy map. This is the one that I used most often when I was actually in Tokyo. You can get them for free. So, yes. So now onto the drawers. I am switching to handheld for this because, as you can see, my tripod is at the lowest setting. This is my tea drawers. So I will show you. I'm not going to go into too much detail. These are all my tins. Mostly David's tea. Most of my tea is David's tea. And then I have my bags, which I'm not going to open all the way because those will fall. I will eventually do a tea tour maybe. A couple people have mentioned that my tea collection is scary and I should show it off. This is my camera drawers. So I have my Fujifilm Instamax, which is like an instant camera, which I got at the airport in Tokyo. I have my Diana F+, my Diana Mini, my Holga 135, and then I have some lenses. These all go with my Lens Baby. This is my Lens Baby, which is a tilt shift. More things that go into my Lens Baby. My kit lens, which I almost never use. I think this is 70 to 200, 75 to 300, which is like a zoom. Never use it. Another Lens Baby thing. I also have a 50mm lens. This is just a cleaner thing that I pretty much I use for photography, and then I am currently using a Sigma 10 to 20 to film all my videos. So I will put those back in a minute. Oh, this is really heavy. And then this is just the miscellaneous like film and cords and stuff for my electronics. So that is my big bookcase. I think that I'm in focus and everything here. I am too lazy to lift up my iPod because I'm just going to go and film my big bookcase right after this. So that was my special collections bookcase. That is the one that is predominantly in my videos. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with a Top 5 Wednesday. Bye.